Welcome to the Gang Tackle, where we blitz every down and call it like we see it. I am Donji Young, alongside Brandon B-Trill, Cottrill, and Dylan Schatzel. Tonight, we've got a packed show. The NFL draft is over, but the fallout is just beginning. Some teams look like they may have made franchise-changing moves. Others might already be explaining mistakes. We'll get into the biggest winners and losers from draft weekend. B-Trill has another 2-minute trill loaded up for us, and Dylan steps into the chopping block, and I've got a flag on the play. Without further ado, we're going to take it right to our opening drive. And since the NFL draft is over, and every year we hear the same thing. Every fan base thinks they just found the missing piece. Every coach says their board fell perfectly, and every front office tells you this class changed the future. But reality always hits fast. Some teams got smarter, some teams got desperate, and some teams drafted like they were just chasing headlines instead of building a roster. So I got one simple question, fellas. Who do you think won the draft weekend? I'll start with you, Trill.
Man, that's a good question. I haven't done deep analyzing of all the teams, but one team that definitely stuck out, because being a Miami Dolphin fans, we're all watching and looking for certain players, and the Cleveland Browns, they kept stepping in front of Miami and stepping on our toes of some prospects that I wanted. And they even made one trade to directly move in front. They even made another trade to let the Giants move in front and grab Mekhi Fields, I think it was. So the Cleveland Browns, they did a lot of moves that I liked. They grabbed a lot of players. They add a lot of depth. So as of right now, early, without looking over everybody, they stuck out as a winner in this draft.
And who do you think, Dylan?
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I agree with Trill 100%. But I'm not going to say the same answer here. I'm going to say something a little different. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. They loaded up good on defense. And, you know, when the Bucs have a good defense, they have good seasons, and the Bucs have, you know, needed some key pieces to that defense to get past, this last year drought of, losing to the Panthers, So I think the Buccaneers did pretty good, and I think the Buccaneers got a good grade and won the draft.
Yeah, I agree. I think both those teams did really well. Here's where it gets tricky. Draft grades mean absolutely nothing right now, because what matters most is fit, scheme, and opportunity. Some players get dropped in perfect situations, others walk into chaos. So which rookie do you think landed in the best possible situation? Dylan, let me ask you this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that Francis Mauigoa landed in a really good spot. Going there at 10 to the Giants. The Giants are at that mark where they're, getting there to their rebuild for the most part, and they needed to add some protection. And I think Francis Mauigoa is a perfect person for that. I think Francis Mauigoa landed in the right spot for the rebuild process and everything. And I think he's going to be the key, lead to that offensive line. I think it's a great spot for him. He's going to stand out.
And who do you got, Trill?
I hate to go with the top pick of the draft, but just to go with Mendoza, he is set up right now in Vegas with Tom Brady in the front office. So with him, he's got some experience being a GOAT. But the way they went and got Kirk Cousins, it was aggressive getting him. I think Kirk Cousins is physically identical as well as has gameplay identical to Mendoza. So right there, they're going to step into the same system. He can groom. Kirk Cousins can take the first snaps to start the season, and who knows how long it'll take Mendoza to jump in there. But I just like what the Raiders did. They have not had great pass with top picks. Look at Russell. Was it Jamarcus Russell? He was just a huge NFL bust. But I think they're going about it the right way with Mendoza.
All right. So we talked about who landed in perfect situations. Now, on the flip side, which teams may have had an overrated draft? You know, the team that people are praising right now, but you really don't think it is cracked up to be all it's worth. Who do you think, Dylan?
Can I just say the Jets, dude? I mean, no matter who gets drafted there, it's just, I mean, going there just ruins your career, man. So, I mean, overrated. I mean, I'm just going to say the Jets, you know, because they picked up some pretty key players, you know, that they've needed. But are they going to pan out because of the culture, you know? So I don't know, you know. I'm going to say overrated is going to be the Jets.
All right. Hey, Trill, you got any overrated teams?
When I look at reach, the Patriots do it every year. They always reach in and grab some players early on in the draft where we're like, wait, who are they? And there's some prospects that they drafted that were not on any NFL draft boards. I don't know if it's to say that their scouting's deep or if it's just way off the radar. But they made some reaches and definitely popped out to me. Again, I'm always keeping a close eye on our division rivals.
Yeah, and that's what makes draft season so dangerous. Hopes make people ignore flaws, but eventually helmets go on, pads go on, and excuses disappear. So let's keep things rolling, and we're going to start off with you know what? It's that time again. Trill, what are some of the headlines floating around that we should keep our eye out for?
Oh, man, we've been talking about rivals, and I guess I'm just going to bury the hatchet a little bit more. Le'Veon Bell, he dropped a bomb recently about previous coach Adam Gates. So again, if you don't know the backstory, Adam Gates, he was the coach for Miami, as well as he went to the New York Jets. Some of the things, there are so much to the dialogue and the transcript to go over. Some of the things that stuck out was, of course, running the ball nonstop on 3rd and 9. He would always do a halfback dive. It didn't matter what it was, as well as he was consistently having weird game plans, as well as one that stuck out when it was raining. He said that we're going to throw the ball over 40 times, and he did, with Sam Darnold throwing 48 passes in the rain, and they lost. So one of the big things, though, the headliner is he caught him in his office snorting some substance. So the quote is, he did a lot of in the office that a coach shouldn't be doing. But that's why he ain't no coach. You know the white girl, sniff. I'm like, I just walk into the office and see my coach. We're about to go to practice. Bro, we got practice in 28 minutes, and I got a walkthrough, and this is what you're doing in here? My own 2 eyes. So again, Adam Gates, we saw the press conferences with your eyes all over the place. What were you doing? Out of some better news, some funnier news about different type of rivals, we'll switch over to the NHL. So unheard of, a jersey swap. So not at the end of the game. This is with fans. So fans could actually do a jersey exchange. It was listed as on Friday at 12 p.m., you can bring any Vegas Golden Knights jersey and exchange it for a Utah Mammoth home jersey and then cheer on the Utah Mammoth for the Stanley Cup. So this was back on April 24th. So this wasn't at the beginning of the season. The ironic thing, they did this right before they faced off against who? The Vegas Golden Knights in their first Stanley Cup playoff game. So it's just ironic where the jersey swap came in. But guys, what do we think about the news that I just spread? What do we think about Le'Veon Bell? Again, the Jets. Go ahead. What you got?
Oh, well, when you said the press conference with the eyes, I know exactly what you were talking about. I think we all do, man. Like, it was obvious at that point that dude was definitely on the booger sugar or something. Like, I mean, yo, there's no way that was this guy's normal face, man. Yo, you know, Dylan, you think Dylan, because I can't stop laughing, man. I can't. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, whenever Adam Gase is, I mean, he chose the best teams, right? Because, we were never really in the playoffs, right? So he chose the best teams to go to. So, he could leave early and head on his plane to Bogota, So, I mean, I think, he's missing Miami a little bit too much with that booger sugar. But, New York's got, it's in the water, as they say, like the pizza. It's probably a little better, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I believe every word of that story. I honestly do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Every single word, man. Like, yeah, he straight up busted this guy in his office doing lines, man.
You know what, though? Crazy. Like, he might be, like, pretty good friends with, McDaniel. I don't know. I feel like they would vibe.
And wasn't that around the same timeline when we had, what was it, like a strength and conditioning coach or a special teams coach? Didn't one of our with the prostitute, he was doing a video he sent to her of him doing cocaine. Was that on Adam Gates' staff?
It sure was.
Yeah, I think that timeline was about the same.
I think it was. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on it. It was either him or Philbin, right?
Joe Philbin.
Yeah. It was either him or Philbin, but I'm pretty sure it might have been Gase. I don't know, but
I think it was Gase.
Yeah. Whew. What can you say?
And so the jersey swap thing, though. I mean,
yeah,
bro. I mean, could you bring your Alibaba DH Gate jersey in and just get like a brand new Mammoth jersey? If I was a Vegas fan, I'm doing that, bro. I'm selling the Mammoth jersey right away, bro. You kidding me? That's like your money back for the game, dude. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah. There's no way they're making money on this. There's no way.
Yeah, I don't think that's the goal.
I think it's just really to build more fans. The only thing it says is limited one exchange per person. So you can't just walk in with 10 jerseys. Blank jerseys only.
No one's name.
Size based on availability. Okay, so the new jerseys they're not getting, it says while supplies last, does not include a ticket to the game. Yeah, so you have to buy your own ticket. Oh, it does say official team jersey only. So it does say, official team jersey. So again, I have a Vegas strong jersey that wouldn't count.
Yeah,
gotcha.
No player jerseys, right? No player jerseys.
Trying to get that rivalry going.
It does have to be official player jersey, and then in return, it says you get a blank jersey. So I don't know if you got to put the names and stitches on later.
Gotcha. So you trade in the player jersey and you get a blank jersey in return.
That's what it is.
I don't know if I like that deal.
Yeah. I mean, dude.
Yeah, it's a home jersey, so yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. They're trying to spark the rivalry for the future. I get it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's a great idea. It's
a great idea. I think it's smart.
And you know what pissed Las Vegas off. You know what pissed them off.
Exactly. Yeah. That's for the bulletin board.
That's it. Hey, it is playoff season, so anything goes, right?
Exactly.
All
Anything
right.
for motivation.
Yep. All right, so let's keep this train moving. And this one officially has a new identity. This is the chopping block. Because once expectations start building, somebody always ends up under pressure. Somebody's job is on the line, and somebody's reputation is getting questioned. And somebody's running out of excuses. So, Dylan, who's sitting on the chopping block this week?
Yeah, so I know we're talking a lot about New York right now. So let's just bring it all the way to New York again, just like I did in the last chopping block episode, right? So we're going to go with the different league this time, though. We're going to go to the NFL. And no, guys, it's not the Jets. It's the Giants. It's the Giants GM, Joe Schoen, which I find very weird how he spells his last name. I mean, I'll get to that at a different time. But Joe Schoen's under immense pressure in 2026. And, after the firing of Dable, they're bringing in a lot of guys that could be key pieces for them. But dating all the way back to the Saquon Barkley trade, not a good decision, I don't think, from what they panned out to be player-wise. This draft this year, I think they hit the nail on the head. I think they did great. But the problem is, this is the year that Joe Schoen is on the chopping block and he is on the hot seat. And that is because he has had believe is a 13-38 record over the past 52 games. And it's not good. It's not good. So this has to be the year that Joe Schoen's on the chopping block and he is on the hot seat. Because he's got a lot of potential now. He's got a lot of players. He's got a good head coach. John Harbaugh's in the building. He made some good decisions, but will they pan out? And if they don't, I think, time to get out of New York, man. So Joe Schoen's on the chopping block this week, man.
I hear that. One thing they do say is pressure doesn't wait. And once your name gets attached to expectations, people stop caring about excuses. All right. Let's keep this train right on going. So that brings us to tonight's flag on the play. And this one goes to selective accountability. Because apparently in the NFL, the rules only matter when the shield decides they matter. And somehow, once again, the New England Patriots find themselves near controversy, near uncomfortable questions, near ethical gray areas, and somehow walk away untouched. This time, the spotlight lands on Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini. Photos surfaced, rumors exploded, questions followed. And before anybody gets defensive, this is not about policing people's personal lives. That's not the point. The point is conflict of interest. The point is access. The point is whether relationships inside the NFL media and NFL organizations create unfair advantages that the league suddenly has no interest in examining. Because here's what makes this story different. Diana Rossini wasn't just some random person tied to football. She was one of the most connected insiders in the league. A reporter whose job depended on sources, relationships, information pipelines, and access to front offices, coaches, executives, and players' movement. And Mike Vrabel wasn't just another coach. He became the head coach of the New England Patriots. So now people are asking fair questions. Could that relationship, real, rumored, personal, professional, whatever label people want to give it, have created information advantages? Could conversations happen outside normal channels? Could reporting access blur into football access? Could private relationships become unofficial scouting reports? Maybe the answer is no, but that's exactly why you have to investigate. Because the NFL investigates everything else. They investigate text messages, they investigate emails, they investigate tampering, they investigate gambling, they investigate locker room behavior, they investigate sideline disputes. But this, absolutely nothing. No review, no questions, no public curiosity, just silence. And that silence matters because the NFL has a history of deciding which scandals deserve outrage and which scandals deserve protection, especially when the Patriots are involved. Because let's be honest, the Patriots have never exactly been strangers to controversy. And every time questions begin to surface, somehow the organization always seems to avoid the same level of scrutiny that other teams would face. That's what's frustrating people. Not because guilt has been proven, not because the appearance of conflict alone should be enough to warrant questions. Integrity matters. Leagues love talking about protecting integrity. But integrity only works when standards are applied evenly. And when stories connected to one organization always seems to fade quietly in the background, people notice. Because if any other franchise was connected to rumors involving insider access, media influence, and had a head coach tied to a major market team, would the NFL really stay this quiet? That's the question. And right now, it feels like selective blindness. So for that, NFL, New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel, you have committed a penalty, thus earning you a flag on the play. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the Game Tackle, and thanks for sticking with us. Now it's time for our all-out blitz, and tonight's question: which sports figure is under the most pressure right now? It could be a coach, a player, or even an exec. It could be NFL, NBA, NCAA, or MLB. Who do you got, Dylan?
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go with a team, and it's coming from NCAA, college football. I'm going to go with Texas Tech. They paid, in case you guys don't know, Brendan Sorsby a $5 million NIL deal, which he decided to gamble a lot of that away, and is now also under NCAA investigation. So Sorsby actually stepped away from college football. He learned a very expensive lesson. He's stepping away from college football to get his mind right, see some therapists. Also, who knows if the NCAA might find. So I think Texas Tech is under pressure. They thought they found their quarterback for the next year, paying him $5 million in NIL. And now they're making calls to, a guy like, from Oregon, Dylan Raiola, Patrick Mahomes wannabe, right? So we'll see. I think Texas Tech is very much so under pressure with finding their guy for next year, because they have a good team built around and they need that quarterback. So I think he's under pressure. I think, the whole team's under pressure, but yes.
I gotcha. And what about you, Trill? Who is feeling the pressure?
Yeah, I'm going to do with the trend of picking a team. I'm going to say the New York Knicks. So right now, the New York Knicks have advanced, and they did it in a big way, beating the Atlanta Hawks by at least 50 points. With that, they're looking like a favorite in the East. The only thing is, we got Boston or the 76ers. So that game is going into Game 7. So that will be determined shortly. But with right now, who is going to carry the load? They're kind of playing musical chairs, going back and forth of who is the front loader of getting the points on the Knicks. Is it going to be Brunson? Is it going to be Bridges? Is it going to be Cat? Just Josh Hart put out a game out of nowhere. So who is going to carry the load into the playoffs? And is this finally the next year?
That's a good question indeed. Well, pressure changes everything. It exposes confidence, it exposes weakness, and sometimes it reveals who's really built for the spotlight. And that's going to do it for this episode of the Game Tackle. I am Donji for B-Trill, for Dylan. We are reminding you to never let the pressure get to you. Be the one who applies it. And the best way to do that is to blitz every down. We'll see you next time.
1, 2.